Are you ready?
Oh my god. Cup is the size of my camera.
Oh yeah. What else is the size of your camera?
What?
What? Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host Daniel, aka Games. Joining me today on this episode is the beautiful Fefer from the channel Fefer on Twitch. And today we're going to be talking about some game news and bringing in the new year and where we've been these last few weeks. So, hi Fefer. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing good. It's been a while since I've been on camera, so this is kind of cool, kind of weird, but fun.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done any kind of content creation, so it feels really crazy right now to finally set up the cameras again, set up the lights, set up the desk, set up my mixer that's been collecting dust here, setting up, doing an outline today, reading game news, just being back in the mix, and it feels good. I gotta say, it feels good. Took forever for us to get on tonight. It's freaking 11 o'clock at night, but we made it.
We did make it. Look at us. Back from our hiatus. No. Winter vacation.
Exactly. Don't call it a comeback. We're just on vacation. But yeah, so we decided to take a break after a lot of I was pumping out a bunch of episodes with Ezra and Marvin and getting things going. Actually one thing that I haven't covered, and I don't know if anyone's even interested. Most people who know me already know the story, but El Torrente and AutoCAD are no longer on the podcast as permanent hosts. It takes a lot of work to run a podcast and a lot of commitment, and it's just we all had long conversations about it, and you will hear from them again, but it will be a mix of different people from week to week, whether that's Fefer, whether it's Ezra, Marvin, AutoCAD, or even El Torrente himself. There'll still be a mix. They're all still part of the VGXL team, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so how was your vacation though? How's it been? How's it feel to be away for so long? How was Christmas? How was New Year's? Talk to us. Tell the people.
Taking a break is still not taking a break because there's so much stuff to do at home,
Right?
Especially around the holidays.
Yep.
I cooked the ham. Cooked the pernil. We all got sick.
Yeah, we did get sick. Yeah.
Christmas week. So, as much of a break as we did take, and as much Fortnite that we did get in between a few nights,
Can't tell them we play Fortnite.
Oh, we don't play Fortnite. We didn't play nothing.
All that Fortnite that we didn't play, all those free gifts, in-game gifts that we didn't get.
Yeah. I'm not level 57.
Oh man. I mean, I gotta say, like coming into streaming, Fortnite was like the plague. I was like, I'm not playing that game. I had tried so much. We tried to jump into it from time to time. It just was not that fun of a game at the time. And
that's because we just got killed by the 10-year-olds that were on there that were really good. That's like Baby Girl now is a really good shot. Like if anybody knew she was the one shooting them down 2-3 people in a row, I'm sure they would be like they're heartbroken.
Yeah, 7-year-old just murdered you and
yeah. Like I can only imagine like how the better they are, the younger they are because they're just stuck on that aim. They're really good.
It's true. Them little twitchy 10-year-old finger, 7-year-old fingers. I mean, come on, if you think about it, it's like back in the day when you only had like few Nintendo games to play. Nintendo games banked on the difficulty because you had to master the game in order to feel like you've completed it and ready for the next one. So it's like that time and effort it took. I could never do that again, except for maybe, like I said, if you've been listening, like Contra Hardcore is probably like one of the only games that I revisit, annually because that's the one game that I mastered at slightly older, and it's always fun to go back to that game because of how difficult it was, and I still have it memorized. So it's one of my favorite games of all time.
I
16,
watched you play that
yeah,
many
on the
times.
16-bit era. Yeah, because that game is known as one of the hardest Contra games in general, and hardest games in general. From Konami, when Konami was great, and the music is great. 4 characters, different paths. I love that game. And 4 different endings. So, but yeah. But we were gonna have a Game Awards episode. That didn't happen. It was just a lot going on, and honestly, that Game Awards, I get excited. I'm one that and Fefer. I'm like, I get excited for game news. I already knew what to expect. Everyone's complaining, it was just a big ad show, but I'm like, yeah, it's been a ad show.
What do you expect?
For years now. I mean, granted, the 2018, I think, when God of War won, was probably one of their best because you actually had like they actually had some performances. They actually had there was a little bit more, and it felt like an award show more than this is. 3.5 hours of straight trailers, and I felt bad for the people who weren't into it, who were just sitting there because they were invited. They're all dressed up, sitting in a suit to watch trailers for 3.5 hours in a theater. Must have been grueling for the non-gamers in there, and I'm sure there was quite a few of them, especially the celebrities that were non-gamers. I mean, you should have seen it as soon as it hit. What was it?
It was 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. You saw the crowd walking out already on the last bits. It was like, I'm sure they're like, all right, I promised I'd sit here for 3 hours. I'm out. Like, this is still going. I'm out. And I get it. It's like, but I just wanted to give my thoughts, and I'm not going to go over what got showed. It's been already a month, over almost exactly. Today's the 10th, so you'll be hearing this maybe on the 11th or later. So yeah, it's exactly 1 month since it aired. And it's like, so you've already heard, all the stuff. If you're waiting for my input on individual things, I mean, honestly, there really wasn't a whole lot I can remember at this point. So again, I'm just not going to go over it. But as the show in itself, it probably was one of the weaker ones. There wasn't too many games I was excited about, and I think that was really the only problem. If people would have walked away, that's the one thing I did want to say on the air, was that if people would have walked away from that saying it was a great show had there been better showings. And while there were some heavy hitters, like Alan Wake 2 and a few others, it's like there just wasn't enough to really say, like, oh my gosh, they showed Death Stranding Part 2. They showed, Metal Gear Solid Remake coming. Like, they didn't show anything they didn't show what Abandon was. I was banking on Abandon being shown on this.
I know.
And Abandon was nowhere in sight. And so it's just like, at this point, it's like, come on, Keeley. I mean, he's already set for the Summer Game Fest, so I'm looking forward to that. E3 is already, we'll talk about that in the news segment in a minute. But yeah, like it doesn't matter how long it is. It would be amazing if it was 3.5 hours worth of great, showings, at least one every half an hour. You know what I mean? There was it was just the pacing was bad. And then you ended it with a demo. Like you ended it, come on. The best way to end
for nothing.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because like you're saying that it wasn't anything crazy, and thinking about it again, it's been a month ago, but I do remember Legato, who was in the chat because we were co-streaming it.
Right.
Half of that stuff, he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh, they've already shown this. Oh, I remember that."
Oh yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not stuff that's like world premiere, new or anything. No, not at all. This stuff has already been shown in one way or another.
Exactly.
So it's not like it's just it's starting to get repetitive on some of them.
And I'm a little disappointed in that he's like milking that world premiere moniker, because it's like world premiere of a CGI trailer is like of a game that's already been announced is not a world premiere. World premiere should be an unannounced game that we've never heard of, or if we're going to be the loosest I'd be is that we've heard of it, but it's the first time we're seeing anything about it. And, so there's 2 types of world premieres: an overall game announcement of a game we've never heard of, or a game we have seen, maybe a CGI trailer, but a world premiere of gameplay. Like, we've never seen gameplay before. This is the first time we're going to see gameplay. Maybe. And even then, it's like, you're still milking that world premiere. It really should just stick to completely unannounced game should be world premiere only, whether it's a CGI trailer. I think that's really, and then that's that way when you see world premiere, it's like, oh, what's this? Instead of, oh, now we're going to show you more, what was Deathloop fucking
Definitely,
gameplay.
exactly.
Now world
Elden
premiere
Ring.
of from this angle, you know.
Another trailer of Elden Ring comes out in three
Exactly.
weeks. Comes
Exactly.
out in
That's
two and
exactly
a
how I
half
felt like. Oh,
weeks.
here's a game coming out in 2 months, world premiere, and it's like, but yeah, I want to touch more on that in a bit. But I guess we was there anything else you wanted to add or say, or before we move on?
I mean, I get everybody just not caring about it being so, I guess, commercialized with so many advertisements and whatever the case. And I get it; they have to make their money, sponsors, and all that stuff. I just don't think it's fair that they did rush those other awards that
That's a good
weren't
point.
shown.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's his face? It Takes Two did get the award for a family game, but that wasn't
Exactly.
shown.
Why
Yeah, game
not?
of the year.
You have a 3.5 hour show, but you rushed through. Like I thought, see, because the award show wasn't always 3.5 hours. It was about
Mm-hmm.
2 hours with the half-hour pre-show. That's how it usually is. So I get,
Mm-hmm.
and they used to do more segments of stuff. You know what I mean? Like more like behind the scenes and what's going on, and like those things I appreciate. And this should be a celebration of the gaming industry as a whole, showing like what some of these studios are doing behind the scenes. I think on a deeper level, and you know, and they could have done more with that. But yeah, if you're gonna have a 3.5 hour show, like you should have given out all those awards or cut them
Yeah,
if you're gonna rush through them. It's just that
exactly.
I kind of understand. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't understand. I kind of understand why it's even mentioned, because this is all when you get an award, and if you've been paying attention, though everyone says, "Oh, the awards don't matter," right? To the common gamer who follows the news, actually watches this thing, knows. But the person who's just scrolling through Steam, guess what? Game of the this one, best game, this one best family game. All those game
Yeah.
awards were all over Steam and
Yep.
other marketplaces. Oh, but this one award for this one award for that. So guess
Yeah.
what? That's why I'll never forget. I think it was L.A. Confidential. Nobody watched that movie, but when it won an Oscar, guess what the Hollywood did? They put that shit back in the theaters because they knew everybody was gonna watch it now. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the point of an award show. It's just a big ad. It's the best of the best. Like, hey, this was known to be a really good thing, and it won an award. So maybe check it out. That's all it is. It's a
No,
revenue
that's true.
generating show for the person who's not following this. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
why they rush through those awards. It's like, yeah, here's this, because that's gonna
Yeah.
now on Steam, it's gonna be advertised as best family game of the year now and game of the year. Now it has
Mm-hmm.
multiple awards. And that's what these award shows are for, just so that there's something to plaster on a storefront. So
Yeah, they get some sort of recognition to kind of prop them up.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I get the game, and I get what's happening. It's just it sucks that Keeley has to. I'm sure he has other people behind the scenes that are helping him make these decisions, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that he took a lot of the critique to heart. I would love a 3. I'm sad because I know it's going to be shorter next year, so I'm almost confident it's going to be shorter next year. But I'd rather a nice, complete feeling show than a 3 hour slog of just like trailer, commercial, trailer, commercial,
Yeah.
award, trailer,
Yeah.
commercial, award. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, there was at one point that we were just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that
Another
last hour.
trailer.
It was that last hour.
It
3 hours
was
is
so
too
long.
much. 3 hours.
It was
3
so bad.
hours is too much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he did hold that Twitter space the following day. Remember that he was eating and everything. He's like, I'm just gonna eat my lunch, and you guys go ahead and give me what your thoughts are and everything. So at least he went and reached out for feedback. So that's cool.
No, I
I think it's
appreciated
really
that. I
cool
appreciate
thing
that
to
big
do.
time. Yeah,
It
no,
was bringing a lot of
exactly.
people up with what they liked, what
And
they
then that was the
and
big
stuff
thing.
like
It
that.
was like, and now next year, I'm hoping, or even for Summer Games Fest, I'm going to be paying attention now. And like you said, I should have went and said something. I just didn't have it in me that day to like,
I
I
know.
want to. I don't know, me. I become a perfectionist to the detriment that I'm like, I didn't want to ask a silly question or say something and then
I know.
kick
Or
myself
bring in
later.
something that 20 people before you've already asked. Or
Exactly, and
just
that was
say
the
the
other
same
thing.
compliment that 20 different people said before you. Like, I thought it was a great show. I think you did really great on it, and I enjoyed myself throughout on it. But I mean, you could have been a little shorter. Like that was a few people that were already
Yeah,
saying that.
exactly.
You
And then it
know.
was like at that point, I was just like, what do I say at this point? You know, and then it is what it is. Now, like I said, I'll take
Hmm.
notes next year and I'll be ready. Or
Exactly.
later this year, excuse me.
Yes.
But yeah, so moving on to this year now. Breaking
Yay.
news, something that just came out today is Take Two, not It Takes Two, you know, trademark,
Oh.
whatnot. But Take Two Interactive, I should have said, actually, what I should have said was Take Two, the winners of the game of the year. Uh, Take Two buys Zynga, you know,
Ah, yes,
Farmville,
yes.
and among other things, for 12.7, or is attempting to buy them
Farmville.
for 12.7 billion dollars. That's pretty crazy. Fucking like
That's
that's one of the biggest gaming purchases. Well, first it was the Bethesda buyout from Microsoft, and now
hmm
this is even bigger. And the thing is, somebody can actually come in and swoop in and take that if they wanted to. So if I had $12.8 billion, I could be like, nope, I want Farmville for me.
Farmville forever. Oh
Yikes.
no.
They must just be masters of their craft, and I'm sure they're buying data too because they were buddy with you know Zuckbot over there at Facebook. You know, I mean, remember back in the day, it was like everybody was on Facebook because of
hmm
those little games. So Zynga's a force to be reckoned with. I'm sure they have data.
Guilty.
I'm sure they have like player data, and now apparently I was reading an article today. This is a little off subject, but I was reading an article while I was getting ready for the podcast, and apparently because of privacy changes that are occurring, player retention is becoming more important than generating new players, and I think the reason for that is probably because of the the social dilemma was probably part of that. If I had to take a guess, but now you know there's privacy is changing, and it's because of that,
Yeah.
it's like now they can no longer they know it doesn't make sense to spend money for new customers because you can't get the science behind so you want to just keep what you have. And I think that's probably part of this buyout. Like they're buying a customer base on top of that. You know what I mean? So you're
Makes
buying
sense.
customers, you're buying data, you're buying years of data, you know, of what
hmm
people like, what keeps them there, what microtransactions work. Because guess what? What's one of their biggest revenue generators or most popular revenue generator today? Do you know?
Microtransactions.
Yeah,
What?
what game? What's the most popular game that Take Two
Oh, take two.
owns that's been running for 9 years now?
Wait, I'm just making sure I'm. No, I have no idea.
GTA 5.
Oh.
So that's why I'm
Oh.
like, it makes sense, you know. You okay over there?
My gem fell off. I'm okay.
So no, it's all right. So I'll just cut this.
Yeah.
27 minutes, 23 seconds. No, I'm saying like, think about it. They own GTA. They've been loving the fact that they're making mad money, you know, tons of money. Well, I mean, they also, I think they also own 2K, but so they own like sports. They own
Oh,
GTA.
that's
Sorry, that's
right.
probably their bigger one, but that's why I said the most popular.
Yeah.
But between the 2K series and GTA making tons of money, who better to buy out than the kings of freaking microtransactions and mobile games, and they make slot machine games. These are people who know the
Yeah.
science behind keeping your ass there. So why not own all of that data? And that's probably
Oh
what they're
my
buying more
God.
than anything is data.
Yeah.
If I had to take a guess. But yeah. But speaking of
Oh.
gross, huge amounts of things, Dying Light 2 is apparently gonna take 500 hours to platinum or complete every activity and thing to do in there.
That's a gross amount of zombies.
It is. I cannot wait.
That's 500 hours, but they did kind of break it down. It's like anywhere between how many hours for like story is like 20 hours for story, 100 with the side stuff.
No, it's a lot more. It's probably like it's like 70 to 80 hours with story and extras, which or side quests,
Okay.
which if they say if you're taking your time. So I'm thinking, if you're not like, I'm probably not gonna do all side quests. I'm somebody who just likes to complete main story. I'm thinking about 50 hours, and yeah, because you're gonna probably want to get skill points and all that. So you're probably gonna be forced. Plus, the original game was incredibly fun. And
Especially that freaking the PvP.
oh yeah.
Freaking PvP.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot to it, and there's already people crying about it on the internet. I'm like, you mother effers have probably put 500 hours into more boring games that you've played over time. It's okay to play a game, complete the story, and then platinum it slowly. Play, you telling me giving you months of game is not a disrespect to your time. Disrespect to your time is, I gotta say it, is Days Gone. Is disrespects your time. Because you literally get to a point, if you do too many of the main story quests, you have no story quests to do. You literally have no story quests to do. You just sit. I was just standing there like, looking at my quest list, like, wait a minute, I only have a couple of side things to do. Why the fuck do I only have side, like little, clearing base type missions? But no, you got to leave the base, drive on your motorcycle, and then wait for someone to call you. And granted, it's usually pretty quick, but they will literally have you go back to camp just to say 2 words to somebody. Literally. Hey, what are you doing there? Oh, they won't let me leave. Oh, man, that sucks. And that's the end of the... I'm like, why did you make me come back to the fucking camp for this?
Oh, my God.
That's a waste of time. And sometimes you can't fast travel if you don't have enough gas or if you're too far. So you got to drive a little bit, then fast travel and make sure you have gas because you have to have your tank... Like, that's disrespect to your time. When they create... What?
No, just mind you, when you have to do that, you have to travel a little bit of distance and stuff, and you have zombies really throwing themselves at you,
exactly,
jumping at you on your bike,
and then if you don't save right, then you die, and then you
save.
Like that game should be like, I forget what. Oh, like No Man's Sky. That every time you get in your spaceship and you jump out of it, it automatically saves. That's what that game should be. You get on your bike. As soon as you get off your bike, it should be a save. You fall off your bike, it should be a save right there. Boom, save.
That's exactly.
Unless you're gonna die, unless you're like it's a death or something.
I was gonna say that might work against you.
I know. If you get knocked off, then maybe not. You know what I mean? If you get knocked over, you get killed, fine. But if you stop the bike, press square to get off, it should just save it for you, and it doesn't do that. You have to manually save it. Granted, it's a one button press, but you forget, and that button doesn't always pop up. So that game disrespects your time. But we don't know if this game disrespects your time or not. There was people saying, "Oh, it's the games don't need to be this." I'm like, calm down. Like, there's so many long games out there. It's okay. They spent years on this game. I mean, their last game was Dying Light. That came out 2014, 2015. It's been good. And it was an amazing game, and they had so much support after that. So they and it had PvP, so it had tons of content, in that game. I think they even gave away the expansion or something. I have faith in Techland. They like I said, their original game was great. This is next gen. It looks amazing, and and if it's anywhere near as addicting as the original Dying Light, this is gonna be a fun ass game to sink time into. And if it takes me a year to finish it, fuck it. And again, it's not. It's not 50 hours ain't shit. You play a few hours a day, while between other things. I'm sure the gameplay is addictive, and if it has that same addictive gameplay, I have no problems.
200 hours in, you'll be like, oh man.
That same person put 238 hours into Monster Hunter, and he said, "Oh, it took me a year to do that." Okay, so you're telling me you can't take a year to play on and off play?
Exactly.
Anyway, like I told you off screen, that person is a platinum hunter, which is fine. And that instead of tweeting that, they just had a hot take, and that's something that annoys the shit out of me. I might have to turn to that. I might have to sell out and just have hot takes like, "Man, It Takes Two is trash. B. Only little kids play that shit."
No.
I don't know. I don't even have good hot takes.
Deathloop. We heard enough about Deathloop.
Nah, that's not a bad. Everybody was tired of the. I love Deathloop. I want to hear about it more. They didn't. Oh man.
Been trying to reach you about Deathloop.
Oh shit. Oh man. So
But I'm looking forward to Dying Light too. I have my patches. I'm ready.
hell yeah. That
Yeah.
I'm excited. I might just get that shit on PlayStation as well. We got that shit on PlayStation last PS4. We played the shit out of the PS4 with that.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Probably want it on PC. Probably look fire on PC though.
It'll probably be.
Yeah, no. I didn't want it on PC. So yeah, I don't have a segue for this. So Pokimane gets banned on some streamer news. Pokimane gets banned for streaming The Last Airbender, but she was dead at. So apparently, I don't know if you know this, but apparently there's a TV meta that's been happening where people watch full-on television shows on Twitch, and I'm like,
I'm not sure about that. I just know about the
no, I'm telling you.
Prime. No, I know. I'm just saying. I just know about the Prime stuff that you have to be a subscriber, and then it's like you can only watch along with the Prime thing if you're subscribed and signed in on Twitch.
No,
So
that's legal. That's fine. This is
Yeah.
just she was just randomly watching a show in front of 25,000 people. Like, did you not know you were gonna get banned? I'm like, people are like, that's an easy way for free PR because it's made it to the blogs. You get a couple days off forced, and then you do a hype comeback stream. It's a perfect paid vacation. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
think she was doing that,
she
and I
does.
think she was watching it like for a while before she got cut off. I'm not mistaken. I didn't care that
I'm not
much.
sure how long.
But but she was apparently she was like watching it like throughout the day or some shit. It was like a long stream, and she was watching episodes of that shit until she finally got DMCA'd.
Was it something about her trying to be slick or something? Like her VODs were deleted and like they weren't being saved and stuff. Like
Like I
was
said, I didn't
deleted
read
on
that
her
much about
page.
it, so maybe.
I think I saw something about that though. All the clips were gone and all the VODs weren't being saved and everything. So like she could kind of fly under the radar, but then it was just a live ban.
Yeah, the live ban got her.
Yeah. I mean, she tweeted out. She understands. She's not mad at it, obviously.
Of
She
course
can't be mad
not.
at
Like
it.
I said,
hello.
you bank off of it.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that's just like, oh yeah, well now I got like she said. I mean, like people were saying, you got a free vacation, like a couple of days, and now she got a hype stream, a welcome back stream. You know, people are gonna be like, oh, we missed you, and throwing mad money.
Oh, of course.
It's a wrap.
Of course. And getting paid off of stuff. What you mentioned something about Amaranth with the hot tubs?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, she bought a hot tub company. Talk about getting a bag and marketing and owning your own meta. Like,
Make that money.
yo, that's smart. It must have been cheap. She's rich. You know, she got bread. And on top, so now you can continue doing your hot tub streams, though she's probably doesn't have to stop doing and you can advertise your freaking hot tub. You like this inflatable pool company or
Inflatable.
yeah. Like you like this, boom, $10 you get one for yourself or however much it costs. So the Amaranth, it has my picture all over it too.
It's $100 each. Come on. I don't know how much it is. I'm just throwing a number out.
If it got pictures of it, it might be, you know. I mean, I don't know if it has pictures or not. I'm just guessing. Like, should I have? No, I want to have my own inflatable hot tub, and and on the bottom of the tub, it's just me like, like on your tablet, on your tablet, you just have my face smiling.
Yes.
Just a VGXL hot tub. Come sit on my face. Sit on my face while you get the Sims to sub to you. The ultimate.
Can there be a Fefer version of that? Like,
I don't want nobody sitting on your face. Juggling the balls. Oh shit. Oh man, I need some water. I'm dying over here.
oh, what's that you're drinking out of?
It's a VGXL podcast mug. It was a gift, so you can't buy this anywhere. I should try to get these mass produced, right?
Yes.
It's pretty nice though.
That's really nice.
I mean, you gotta admit that's pretty nice. Cold water. Speaking of cold water, E3 2022 is going online completely for the because of Abercrombie and Finch a pandemic.
Omicron.
I mean, variant, the Omicron variant. So yeah, nobody cares. It's like just you're gonna say this every year. Just kill it. Let's just kill E3 already. Nobody gives a fuck.
I mean, I know. So wait, this is the third year that it's going online, right?
Yeah.
20, 21, 20. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
2020, 2021, and 2022. Yep. And it was already on the brink of like they didn't know what they were gonna do, so it was like at the last. Oh yeah, we're gonna go online because of the pandemic. Yeah, like yeah, I didn't have nothing planned anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it? No, I don't think. Was there E3 in 2020? I think there just wasn't E3 in 2020. That's what it was. And then the next year was Summer Games Fest. No, Summer Games Fest was 2020. Then he did it. It was Summer Games Fest mixed with E3 last year, and then this year they're doing. And that's probably. They need to just let Keeley just take it over. That's why Keeley's doing that. He knows that shit's dead. He knows E3 is dead. So Summer Games Fest is literally the same weekend. He's gonna take it over. It's gonna just be Summer Games Fest. It's no more E3. It's dying a slow death, and Summer Games Fest is gonna take. Like I said, I admire Keeley's hustle. The most. Like that dude has been in the industry forever, and he's making moves. He's getting that bag and he's taking over. You got Winter E3 with the Game Awards, and you got Summer Games Fest, and then he does. Then he also does the what was the other one? The European one. The Gamescom Live. So he's taking over. He's literally taking over the entire video game presentation space.
Yeah.
The only thing he doesn't own is the Tokyo Game Show, which is like bullshit anyway. That nobody does. None of the Japanese companies do anything for anyway. That used to be the second biggest news outlet. It was E3 and TGS. Tokyo Game Show was the second one that was like, Gamescom has been there for a minute, but it was always a whatever. Like, who cares? But now Keely's doing that one. Yeah. So he's the Summer Games Fest, Gamescom, and Game Awards. He's freaking. He owns that shit. That's dope. That's my goal. We're gonna be at a Game Awards. We're gonna be at one of these conferences soon. It's gonna happen. You're gonna see. You're gonna see VGXL up there in full force. Watch. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be awesome.
Mark our words.
You heard it here first, folks. This you want to bring in the next story? This is the one you showed me.
Oh, so there was a general court with the Pope there, and he had the circus performing for him. And what do they freaking do their act to? Megalovania. Undertale.
That was worst translation ever. Yes, Megalovania. Right? Cue music now. You hear that? Isn't that amazing? Okay, stop it. All right. TMCA.
But that was so crazy because obviously everybody who's a gamer who's played that or just even had a whiff of the song is like, are they really playing that with the Pope right there?
I know.
You always sent it to G Money, and he's like, "Why are you showing me this?" I'm like, "Look at this time! It's Megalovania," and he's just like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Don't be so cringe.
I know, right? That was cool though. I just mad the camera work was just trash, showing just like the one woman doing a couple of things with her feet instead of like they were juggling, they were doing all kinds of stuff, and they were just showing one person.
Kind of all around. Yeah. I don't know.
Better
camera people there.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean it's cool though. It's cool to see. That was a kind of an interesting story there. So moving on Twitter. So I'm on Twitter and I see Days Gone's trending. So I'm like, Days Gone's trending. And apparently the director, what the fuck's his name now? I forget his name. The director of the game comes out and he's all like, oh, back when, back before I left, local management mentioned how, pretty much Ghost of Tsushima sold 8 million copies so far in a year. in 2020, between 2019 and 2020, Days Gone did similar numbers, and didn't get the accolades that Ghost of Tsushima's getting. Now, I have a couple of problems with that, because at first I was like, yeah, that kind of sucks, and people suck, and the media didn't help, because they didn't. They shit on the game because it was a buggy mess when it dropped. We've had a million zombie games, better zombie games, and better open world games, I'll admit. But the game is not that bad. It really isn't, from what I had played up until this past week. But granted, for a Sony game, I think a solid 7.5 is pretty much what you saw, and that's really what it deserves. It's good quality as far as, like, you can tell it has AAA. You can tell that voice acting is a star-studded cast. I mean, remember I was driving and you hear like the music come on, like Death Stranding. Like, it got like, this is before Death Stranding came out, and it was doing things Death Stranding was doing. Like, it was a Sony game through and through. Like, I mean, it felt like your typical Sony game, but it didn't have that level of polish, and the game design just wasn't there. It's just not there. And, so when they were saying that, I was like, you know what? I don't have an opinion on this because I haven't finished the game. I haven't played much of it. I needed more. I needed to go back to it. So I played the shit out of it this last few days. I still haven't finished it because it's a 37-hour game, and I'm trying my best to, like, kind of rush to it, but I can't, because you have to do some side stuff to become stronger. And it is a slog. I gotta admit, it's a slog. It's not that great, and it's like I said, the acting is decent enough. The music is decent. It's it's a very Midwest, so it has that Western feel and whatnot. And you feel like you're driving through Oregon. Even what I would think it would be driving through Oregon, with the mountains and hills and all that. And it's graphically, I'm playing the PS4 version on the PS5 with the unlocked frame rate, so it looks amazing. Playing it, whether I'm playing it in, super sampling mode on the, in 1080p, it looks amazing because the graphics are maxed out. Or if I'm playing it on 4K, it looks pretty fucking good for a PlayStation 4 game. Granted, it's running on PS5, but with the unlocked frame rate or whatnot, or what the PS Pro probably, similar to what the PS Pro probably would put out. But still, it looks fucking amazing. And really yeah, like you wouldn't even think you were playing a PS4 game because of how good it looks. And I'll give it that. And the mocap is through the roof. Like, those people, that's like how they look. I looked them up on their IMDb, and I'm like, that's them. Except for Deborah Wilson. They I don't know. I guess they didn't like the way her bug eyes looked. So I mean, Deborah Wilson does have a very distinct look. I'll give her that. You know what I mean? I'll give it that. Like, and now she's just straight bald, but she's a not for nothing though. I like her. I have to say, I like her role in this. It's different. She's soft spoken. Like, it shows her kind of like the needy, like, character. And I was like, I like her performance in this. I gotta say, like, it's a pretty decent performance. It's different than her stern, like, typical, like, military feeling. Because she was in Modern Warfare. She was in Jedi Fallen Order. And that's just her. And like Jedi Fallen Order, I'm like, that's Deborah Wilson. But yeah, I gotta say, you were watching me play. It is a bit of a slog. It reminds you of Red Dead Redemption. It's like Red Dead Redemption had better atmosphere, and I think that's what a lot of people liked about Red Dead Redemption. I mean, you had the Old West, you had the old towns, and you had the trains, and you had like people singing on the when you had to take a wagon somewhere. So overall, the atmosphere and game and the actual design was a lot better in Red Dead Redemption, but the pacing is almost the same. It's like where honestly I'm enjoying my time a little bit more with this game because the fast travel is a lot better, but you do have to fill up your gas tank quite a bit. You do have to the saving is not that great. Like I said, if you're doing side stuff and you forget and you just want to dick around with zombies and you forget to save it, forget it. You lose a lot of progress, which is a common thing. Like in GTA, it could be the same way. Don't get me wrong. GTA was kind of like that, but it suffers from that. Where if you're doing side stuff and forget to save, you lose progress, which really sucks because you could. Picking up plants is a pain in the ass, and that's the other thing about the game. That if you get off your bike. When you're on your bike, you see on your mini map, you see where the plants and resources are. When you get off, it spreads out. It's like it zooms in, you could say. Oh, no. So you don't see those plants anymore. So I'm like, you gotta be on top of it. And then when you're like feel like you're on top of it and you get off your bike, it's still a little bit of a run up because they're small, like you can't really see them. That's why when Ghost of Tsushima let me freaking take stuff while I was on my horse, I was like, that is amazing. That is good design.
that's
I don't have to freaking get off my horse, get the item, get back on my horse, get on my horse. Like no, like that's what you have to do in Days Gone, where it's like they should have just let you pick shit up with your bike. I mean, while you're on your bike, even if you have to slow down a little bit, even if they made a little bit of a game out of it, where you could just make it unrealistic. It's a video game. You have to collect resources. That's a pain in the ass. Like, give them like something where you can hook, maybe a mini, scythe or something where you can just, he's picking shit up quickly. It's a video game. Like, who cares if it doesn't make sense, right? Like, who doesn't matter? So
zombies are real. Everything's real.
Exactly. With that being said, though, it's because if you have a PlayStation 5, it's part of the that PS Plus collection. Totally worth the download. Totally worth taking a look at it. It's free. It's there. And I recommend giving it a try. I highly recommend giving it a try. I can see. All I'm saying is I'm not really complaining about the game that much. What I'm mostly trying to say is I see why this game doesn't have the accolades that Ghost of Tsushima did. Ghost of Tsushima valued your time, respected your time, let you, if you want to go and do a bunch of side stories, they were important, but they were side stories. If you want to just plow through the story, you can plow through the story. You want to do side quests and stuff, it was addicting and easy to get to. Fast traveling was easy to do, and that's why Ghost of Tsushima is the better game. It just is. The atmosphere was way better. The acting was just as was better, honestly, and this could have been the same. So what it comes down to is that there isn't going to be a sequel, and I think there will be because of the outcry. I think there is interest in a sequel, especially next gen. If they could do a next gen sequel with a similar size map and maybe do a different state, or something like that. Maybe show what happened. Maybe what happened in South America. Do something like that, and like take the game somewhere else. And with because that's a massive map. Have maybe, I don't know about the motorcycle. I can't tell. Maybe mix up the vehicles, instead of being stuck to a motorcycle, maybe make cars, maybe let me
That'd be cool.
Hotwire, exactly new mechanics, similar style, but with a way better pacing and level design. And you have a dope game because the hordes, the main selling point of the game is fighting the hordes, which come many hours later. I gotta say is mad fun. Having 50 zombies chasing you and it getting that many on screen, like, it's like, yo, we barely have games that do that now. Having literally, like, it feels like 100 zombies like are chasing you. They're bunched up and it's menacing and throwing grenades and throwing molotovs while you're running away, shooting and and kiting them around. That shit, I gotta say, is amazing. Like that's pretty dope. Like, and it's just it's fire, and that's what makes that game. And that's, to me, that's the sad part. That's the part that I'm just like, yo, this is what people should be experiencing with this shit. And it's like, I get why this guy's upset. I get why, as a director of it, it's not necessarily a bad game. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad game. It's just it has tons of pacing issues, and it's just like, if you can pace yourself. I mean, it's the type of game you pick up, play for a mission or two, put it down. You know what I mean? Like, play for like an hour or two and let that game, like, play it slowly. It's a fun game. I recommend playing it. I highly recommend playing it. Just, I totally see why it's not getting it. It could, and the thing is, his telemetry data that he claims he got has all been shown that it's not accurate. That game probably made like 6 million copies, which isn't bad, but it's not 8. I think 8 is a stretch. I think what really is how he was going off of trophy counts, and that could be anything. That could be, it was given out for free. There's a lot of reasons why that trophy data was where it was at before he left. So nah, I don't think it was 8 million. I think it was probably like a solid 5 or 6 million, and then the extra 2 million were from the giving away the game, and then the Steam sales, maybe are legit. You know what I mean? The Steam sales, he can track. That is like whatever, and a million is nothing to scoff at. Like, 1 million is considered successful enough for a sequel.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree with that.
To some, because I remember back years ago, Square got shitted on because of I forgot what game. I think it was like Tomb Raider wasn't a success because it only sold 8 million instead of or 6 or 7 million, and they wanted it to sell 10 to 13 million, and it didn't, and it was considered a failure. A failure to it failed its, and what that means is just it failed predictions. That's it. It's not that it was necessarily a fail, just failed the predictions, and that causes stock to go down. Because if you say, "Oh, we expect to sell 10 million units this year," and you only sell half of that, or 3/4 of that, you missed the mark. It means that your data's not as good as you think it is. Or the game wasn't as good as it should have been, or the marketing, something there didn't give you that spike. So, but yeah. So I feel bad. I was hoping I was wrong, and I was hoping that like I would enjoy the game better than people just didn't know what they were talking about. But people were pretty right. The pacing stops it from being great. Where it could have been great. It like I said, maybe I did play a lot, and don't get me wrong, like the shooting is fun, like getting the materials is fun. If you like Last of Us, you'll like this. You remember Last of Us?
I remember Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I am watching you play this game for the most part,
right?
And it can get a bit draggy on certain times. Like you said, you're waiting for them to give you missions, and then you finally start driving off, and it's like, oh, 5 different calls from people that you finally been waiting on for the past 20 minutes, but you didn't get them because you didn't start driving off.
Exactly. That's what you have to do. You have to leave the camp start driving, and then you get the call, which is so stupid. That's so stupid. Yeah, exactly. The next mission is just come in, like let it just come. Yeah. And the thing is, you'll be there at a camp, you'll leave, and then the person from that camp will call you. So it's like you got to turn right back around if you want to do that mission now. A lot of times I just say, fuck you. I was already on my way somewhere else. So. Yeah, stupid. It's like, why not just, hey, come over here. Like, nah. It's like immediately you leave, you drive, and it's like, oh, hey. And it's like, wait, I was just like next to you.
People, like I saw you, I needed you for something, but then the moment you go away, oh, I remember now.
Right?
Come back. Come back.
Oh, man. But I think that's my rant. We're gonna talk a little bit more, but we're already hitting an hour, and this first episode was just kind of like a test run to come back and we're I'm gonna have, but we'll have more developed episodes in the future. But yeah, like we don't have to want to stop. But I do want to talk to you a little bit more, Fefer. Are you gonna be streaming soon? I know people are waiting.
Yes, I am going to be streaming. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, the 11th. I shall be back. I postponed my my return stream because I didn't work on my stream, and I'll be honest, I still have not worked on my stream because it's been nice spending time offline. Honestly, I have barely been at my computer for these past almost 3 weeks now.
That's true.
So. It has been nice. I needed a very much needed break. And obviously we did get sick in between all of that. Plus holiday, sick, more holiday while being sick. And then the kids have gone back to school. It's just been a little bit busy. So
yeah, it's a lot.
It's been busy. So I'm taking all the rest that I can get.
I don't blame you. No, I'm excited. I'm excited for everything. I'm excited to keep recording. Yes. I have some ideas that are, I have planned, and I'm excited to see more stuff. So, yeah.
I'm glad you're back recording as well.
No, this feels really good. This feels way better than I expected. Like, I thought I was going to choke or not know what to talk about, and it honestly feels really good to just.
It's like getting back on a boat. I was going to say motorcycle, but bicycle, motorcycle.
Motorcycle. It's like riding a motorcycle that you've never done before. I rode a moped before. That was pretty fun. I mean, I dropped it, but I got the hang of it right away. If I have to do it again,
I can ride a scooter.
I can do it again.
Don't drop the moped.
Don't drop the moped, folks. But yeah, I mean, the only topic we're really going to talk about, I guess, just, it was just games being advertised too much, and
Yes.
we were just kind of talk about that. But there's not really a whole lot more we're gonna say. I just think I just realized that when I've seen a game a lot, that like Deathloop, it was just like I stopped caring. I stopped caring so much, and I was interested in Deathloop when it first got announced. But by the time it released, it was like, and I ended up getting it, but it was like, I had to force myself to buy that game. I was like, I don't care about this. And the same thing that was almost happening with Elden Ring. It's like, all right, like we saw gameplay, like the mystery is like once you take away the mystery, and then they keep beating it into your head. It's like I feel like I've played it already. It's like I've heard so much about this game. I don't want to play it again, or play it at all. I don't want to hear about it no more. Get away from me. So
like, I wasn't even honestly with all the trailers and stuff of Deathloop. It was just like, oh, it's finally out. So I don't have to see all the different ads.
I think that was
stuff like that.
That was literally the most exciting part of it releasing. Was like, I don't have to hear about this shit ever again. Yes.
Tell me how it is, but don't show me any of it.
Yeah, please.
I think I'm good.
I do want to revisit the game one day, like maybe if I'm in the mood for FPS. But it's like it's just okay, and like I mean, it had its moments. It's okay, it's all right. It's just that's one of those games that it's like it's easy to fail a mission, and you could do a lot and then fail, and that part sucks, and you got to kind of like do it. So it's just like it's one of those games where you got to practice and get better at, and then try to do a smooth run. And that's how you beat the game. Like you do every part. Yeah, and then you do a perfect run where each day or each part of the day you're doing the correct thing so that you can break the loop or whatever. And it's a lot. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's all right, and like I said, at the Game Awards, he's like, oh, and it was some CGI trailer of Elden Ring. I was like, oh, I already saw gameplay at this point. Like I don't want let the game release. It's 2 months away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming out in a month. Like, I want to get that game, but it's just like I don't. Thank goodness there's no more award shows or presentations until it releases. But yeah. So I guess that's it. Oh
no, I was just gonna mention because since while being on break, remember I've been playing that membrane game.
Oh yeah, that $250 game. You rich.
No, I'm not. I made it with my feet pick money. No.
Feetpicks.com. Go on.
No, just kind of throwing this out there to anybody who's interested, and just keep an eye on it. It's only on Switch. It's called Membrane. So it's a fun puzzle game, and you're this little kind of pyramid triangle, like what's it called? Spy versus spy looking guy. He's yellow. And
like
he shoots that little
some Silent Hill, like Pyramid Head.
Yeah, exactly. But the pyramid point is his nose.
Oh, okay.
So and you can shoot. You pretty much have to solve the puzzles and get from point A to point B. And if you want to get the little collectible balls, it's a very colorful game. And it's really, really fun. But obviously, don't buy it right off. It's $250. Why? I'm not sure why. I don't think anybody knows why. But definitely get it on sale when it's like $250, because I'm pretty sure that's when I got it.
Yeah.
And we just missed the New Year's sale. But it's really cool. It's really colorful. You're going through the human body, and each of the levels. It's really fun because it's for you to experiment and just kind of have fun with it, with the different little marshmallow sticky things you shoot at it, to make your bridge and all that stuff. So I think it's really fun.
That's awesome. I really think it's like some kind of psyop. Like, what if we put a game at an exorbitant amount of money, leave it there? It's obviously not going to make any sales, but then when we put it on sale, let's see if people actually start buying it because they're just so curious as to.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, it got pressed because of that, and I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like, "What the fuck?" And when they see it on sale, like, okay, it's $2.50. I gotta buy it because I gotta see why it's a $250 game. I mean, maybe
right? I mean, but not for nothing. It's a really fun game,
and that's the thing. Look at that, and it's a fun game.
It's fun. It's really cool, and
it's a psyop, I'm telling you. It's the Russians.
I mean, maybe it's like, who do these people think they are?
It's China.
And
it's Tencent. They're coming after you.
Play. Let's see. It's perfect. It's from Perfect Hat. And they had an honorable mention for Best Student Game 2018
Oh.
for the Indie Game Festival.
Okay.
I don't know, but
That sounds
I
interesting.
definitely recommend it. Throw it on your wish list and wait until it's on sale during the holidays. I definitely recommend it.
See you in December, folks.
Yeah, right? Maybe Black Friday, maybe.
All right. Well, anyway, but yeah, that's it for now. I'm definitely going to be trying to be more consistent. I'm not going to try. I will be more consistent and getting these episodes out. Fefer will be, I think, joining me a lot more, and we'll see about getting some more guests up on here. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, don't forget to follow if you've made it this far. Don't forget to follow. On Twitter, VGXL Podcast, or Video Games X Life everywhere else. And follow Fefer at, what is it, Fefer Plays on Twitter?
Fefer Plays.
And Fefer on Twitch, right?
And Fefer on Twitch.
All right.
Plays on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Check out that TikTok. Feet talk. Feet talk, TikTok. Can I do a feet talk?
Yes.
All right. Check out my feet talk on TikTok /Fefer. All right. And all right. Well, that's it from me. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.